What's happening, family? Dr. Joe here. Hope each of you are well and blessed, addressing an important question that many of you perhaps have asked or wondered. Why is it that it's so difficult to lose weight as we get older? Or you could look on the flip side, why do we gain weight as we get older? Well, I want to give you a couple of tips and understanding as relates to that may bring clarity to this question. Number one, as we get older, our metabolisms do slow a bit, scientifically speaking, meaning that if my lifestyle remains the same, that my metabolic abilities are going to slow a bit in terms of how quickly my body metabolizes calories into energy. And the way to see this is when you look and assess your life. I think it's more clearly when you look upon it within decades. For example, if you're in your 40s, think back to when you were in your 30s. And it's a clear difference in terms of your body's caloric intake and what you were able to maintain. You can't eat like you could then. And if you do, which a lot of people do, you'll find yourself becoming larger and larger. And the reason being is over time, our metabolisms, when lifestyle is not adjusted, will slow a bit. We'll get back into that. All right. If you're 50, you can't eat like you could when you were 40. And Lord knows if you're in your 60s and you think back to when you were in your 20s or your 30s, it's as different as night and day. And I can see it within my own life now. And it's very, very clear. 5 years I can see it, but also 10 years. All right. And the reason for that is as we age, our metabolisms become a bit more efficient. It slows a bit. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It just changes. All right. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing that happens is two sides to this coin. As we get older, we become more less insulin sensitive. That means that as we're eating foods, carbohydrates, simple sugars that break down into sugar, our body doesn't take the glucose into the cells for energy as efficiently as it did when we were younger. So it's we're not as sensitive, and that's what you want to be. Antithetical to insulin sensitivity is what you've heard, insulin resistance. So on the flip side of that coin, as we get older, we become less insulin sensitive and we become more insulin resistant. This is what the trajectory of diabetes is. Insulin resistance is basically the cells are resisting when insulin is produced in massive amounts. It's taking the glucose out of the blood and it's trying to take the glucose into the cells. That process, there's a resistance to it. And being that the energy is not going into the cell, what happens is the body goes into fat storage. So that's why you see and feel yourself getting larger, especially around the midsection. You get that tire, that muffin top. All right, that's a classic example of what insulin resistance looks like. So as we age, we become less insulin sensitive and we become more insulin resistant. So, and when you couple that with the standard American diet or how we eat in the West, it exacerbates that. So as we get older, everybody in America is on the trajectory of becoming diabetic based upon how we eat in terms of the types of foods and in terms of the selections and the highly processed weaponized foods that we've talked about and we'll talk about more in depthfulness. But that's the second reason. The third reason why we gain weight over time and as we get older and why it's more difficult as we get older is because we slowly become less active and we have lower amounts of muscle mass. The higher amounts of muscle mass you have, the higher metabolism you're going to have, the higher your basal metabolic rate. All right. Meaning that when I do nothing, I'm burning a certain amount of calories because the muscles in your body, the lean tissue, requires energy to sustain itself. So the more physically fit you are, the more active you are, the more your metabolic expenditure is going to be, the more insulin sensitive that you're going to be, which is good, the less insulin resistance that you're going to have, which is all good. And what happens is as we get older, we become less and less active, more and more like a couch potato, less and less going to the gym, Many of you all who are athletes in high school and in college. And let me take some time to give a special shout out to all of the ladies who are out there, all of the women, all of the mothers especially. I want to give you guys kudos because, for the mere fact that all life comes from you all means that women are amazing, amazing beings and amazing counterparts to we as men, equal counterparts. And it's something very, very special about your ability, your divine ability to bring life into this world. And I want to take some time to not only salute each of our mothers, but to let you know that you all have an extra hard time at this, because when children come, life changes. I have an amazing wife and I'm able to kind of see what she does. It's just some things that I can't do for the kids, and we men can't do for the kids, especially when they're babies like that only the women can. And that takes away from your priorities in terms of your time. And I understand how difficult it is when you have to get up and you got to prepare their foods. You got to get them off to school. You got to do whatever it is that you have to do, whether you're married or whether you're single or whether you're co-parenting with someone. It is a much, much more substantial investment in terms of time for the women. So I want to give a salute to the women out there of all races. We love you guys. We salute you guys. And I understand how difficult it can be once children get into the picture. But what you have to understand is, if you kind of understand that and learn that your sacrifices for your abilities and desires to dedicate it to your health, your wellness, and your physical fitness is even more so paramount to you. So what I'm saying is, I understand the commitment that our moms have and that our women have in terms of caring for our children, but your health still needs to be a priority. All it means is you may have to make some adjustments and some sacrifices every single day, 4 to 5 times a week, or whatever it is that you have to do to be certain that your health and wellness becomes a priority. Because the more physically fit and the healthier you can be, the better mom, the better parent, the better person that you're going to be in your own individual lives. All right. So salute to the women and salute to the men. But I want to take some time to really dedicate some time to our women who bring life into this world. We love you and we thank you. And I hope this particular presentation helps you. For all of you all who are coming through the 40-day turn up, all of this will be taught to you. We're going to give you the blueprint of success. And I pray that one day that in communities all over the country, that Black people in our communities have access to what it is that we're given primarily. And when I say Black people, I'm talking about that. Now, if people of other races join us, so be it. But this needs to be an institution that comes out of our community for our community. All right. And that's very, very important. And I want to be certain that I'm always referencing that. All right. It's my community first, but any person of any other race who decides to be a part, you will be loved, respected, and reserved just like everyone else. But this is something that comes out of our community for our people, because as a pastor and as a leader in my community, I'm tired of seeing my brothers and sisters die when they could have made other choices to live. None of us are trying to die early. I want to live and not die, and I know you do as well. Till next time, be well, be blessed. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.